Hello, 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 everyone. This is Mindful Intentions Nurture and Drive Your Business. And I am the Mindful Coach, Reverend Tanika Steens. And we are in the season of Advent right now. And what better day to have a guest on to talk about love than right now? What is love? What is love really? Have we thought about that fully? We question what is love? True? Well, my guest today is here to tell us how she discovered the true meaning of love. She crossed borders, climbed mountains, and charged headfirst into uncharted territories. She learned living, loving, giving love, forgiving love, her fruitfulness through sometimes fearfulness, failing, and funny times, answered questions and revealed love such as she had never known before. So, what is love? She said. It conquers all, it never fails, and it keeps us together. It hurts, gets lost, and takes time. It's a dare, a game, a language. It's what the world needs now. So true. We need love. Kim dedicated a whole year to search for the answer to that question, and she found it. The things she discovered are going to rock your world. I'm so excited because she's here today on her mission to tell us about what she knows to change the world. She's a writer, a speaker, and a world changer. Kim Sorrelle is the director of a humanitarian organization, activist mother, grandmother, lover of all people, and Black licorice. She's a one of a kind people. Kim's entrepreneur journey included commercial real estate, a golf course, event facilities, catering, a grocery store, and more. Besides building businesses into multi-million-dollar companies, Kim is proud to have weathered the pandemic storm in the food industry, pivoting, keeping staff employed, and seeing the company sales grow beyond pre-pandemic numbers. Kim is the director of Raise Hope International, and it partners with organizations working with people in their own countries who have a passion, a vision, and a mission to help other people in their own country. She goes with them just to help alongside with them through their business plans of fundraising and sustainability and planning and helping building with countries such as Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Burkina Faso. Rays of Hope has enjoyed relationships with hundreds of organizations, and they're working hard to help the underserved and vulnerable populations. Kim was an athlete and a sports fan. She coached basketball for 25 years and high school varsity volleyball for 17. She ranked in the top 10 in the state for 16 of the 17 years. Kim met tall, dark, and handsome Steve Sorrelle, the man of her dreams, and he proposed 10 days later. They have a daughter. Her name is Amanda, who arrived full of spunk and sweetness. She has 3 brothers, Paul, Luke, and Noah, who quickly followed. A few years later, their Dominican son, Christian, joined the family. Now all grown with families their own, Kim is happy to report that they are all gainfully employed. Kim is someone who knows how to lead and take charge. In 2009, though, while battling breast cancer, Kim's love, Steve, received a pancreatic cancer diagnosis. And after 6 great weeks together, Kim and Steve, as he took his last breath, her first book, Cry Until You Laugh, chronicles the journey through laughter, tears, and laughter again. It's about real love, real pain, and real funny. Kim has a second book. It's called Love Is. She also has a son that has a PhD as a cancer researcher. He did become a cancer researcher because of the double back-to-back cancer diagnoses. And this just changed the whole trajectory of his life. His name is Noah, and he's made significant discoveries that have already helped with other research and continue to move the needle on the survivor rate. Today, Kim lives in her hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Whoop, whoop. I got family there. That's where my people are from. She's a regular radio, television, and podcast guest. Kim speaks to audience all over the world, inspirational and educational. Kim entertains CEOs, industry leaders, company staff members, educators, parents, women's groups, and more. And with firsthand experience, Kim also speaks with the American Cancer Society and Susan G. Komen. A coach is always a coach, and Kim is no different. Working with individuals and teams, Kim helps people succeed not only for business and family, but in every aspect of life, leading to greater fulfillment, happiness, while teaching the secrets to working less and playing more. We need to learn about that today. When she's not writing, broadcasting, coaching, speaking, or serving, Kim enjoys her lifelong and newer friendships, hanging out with her grandkids, reading, playing tennis, and pickleball, planning. And she says she's no Bob Ross, but you never know. In our own minds, we can be whatever we think. Traveling, meeting new people, and an occasionally stick of black licorice. Today, Kim is my guest, and I am so grateful for her mindful intentions and her servant heart to be here today. Thank you, Kim. Welcome to Mindful Intentions, Nurture and Drive Your Business. Tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Well, you said a lot. But I am so passionate now about sharing what I learned about love. It's kind of funny because before I did this year, I had a hard time going to a restaurant and committing to an entree. And here I committed an entire year to do something which wasn't necessarily like me. But the things that I learned, I know will change the world.
Absolutely. I think when you find your true passion, you can commit.
Right.
What you're passionate about helps you to commit. Let's start there. How did you come to know your passion?
I questioned love. When I lost my husband, it was even though we had 6 weeks from his diagnosis, that's really not that long. And I was 47 years old, and I thought I had my life laid out before me. I thought I knew what was going to happen, that we were going to be this couple in our 90s and rockers on the front porch drinking lemonade and smiling at each other, or whatever it is that 95-year-old people do on a porch with rockers. And all of a sudden, I was thrown into this place at 47 years old where I had to reinvent myself. And I wasn't sure what life was going to bring at that point. And it made me question some things. And one of them is love. I really questioned love. There are so many sermons about love. There are so many books, so many songs, so much said about love. But the Bible says God is love. So God is love, not that God loves. So if God can be love, if we are love, then we would be the closest to living the way He wants us to live. But first we have to know what love is before we can be loved.
Absolutely. And I think, on my journey, I've discovered that, and I've had a better understanding of what love looks like. And it's not what we think it is, in the physical sense at all. It is definitely not something that you can grasp and just say, okay, I get it. It's something that you have to have an understanding of, something you have to go through. Can you talk about that?
Yes, for sure. I was in Haiti most of the time when I did this year. And I used 1 Corinthians 13 as a roadmap. And I decided I would use one of the ises a month to really focus on. So it's, love is patient, love is kind, does not envy, does not boast. So my very first month, right out of the gate, love is patient. And I thought, gosh, I know what that is. Everybody knows what patience is, right? Honking your horn if you're stuck in traffic. Mad because your son loses his shoes and you got to leave for school. You're staying cool. But what I discovered is love is not in front of any word, and it completely changes the meaning. So, love is patient. It took me an entire month to figure out every one of them. Took me an entire month. I couldn't figure it out until the end of each month. And something big would happen in Haiti. Like God knocking me on the head going, wake up. This is what it is. I'm trying to show you. So, with love that is patient, it is not about being patient. It is about recognizing that this moment, right here, right now, is the most important moment of your life. What's in the past is in the past, and what's in the future is yet to come. You love the person you're with love that is patient. That means you give them your full attention. You're fully present right here with them in this moment. And I'll tell you, I thought I was the greatest multitasker. Like, I could be thinking about a meeting I have later, what kid had to get to soccer practice, what I had to stop and get at the grocery store, and be fully engaged in a conversation at the same time. But I learned that I cannot be. That is just not true. What I would hear wouldn't necessarily be what was being said. It was more what I assumed was going to be said. And quite often I'd have my rebuttal ready, right? But when you stop and you are there completely showing love that is patient, your ears open up. And you hear things a whole different way. You hear things you would never have heard before. And it gives you so much more understanding of who it is that you're with. That is love that is patient.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because it takes time and skill for these things and a practice as well. Because I was never forget, we were talking about this the other day. My mom, we were having dinner and my mom said, I'm just going to pray and ask God for patience. Now, this is how funny that I thought that this was. And then I knew what was getting ready to happen. And I go, well, you probably don't want to do that. And no sooner than I said that, she just looked at me and was like, why would you say that? I mean, she just got so mad. And I go, because of that right there. Because you're not hearing what I'm saying to you. You automatically assume that I was telling you something else and being negative about it. But I'm telling you, you're going to be tested to see how far you are going to be able to resist what you just did. And she just couldn't get it. And so we were talking about this the other day and she says, I get it now. She says, I get that patience isn't something that I'm just waiting to happen. She's like, I got to go through it and I got to endure it. And I'm like, now you're getting it, because now she's become a caregiver of her mom and her sister. And she's actually seen what patience now looks like through that. And so as you were saying that, I'm like, yep, that's it. Because we don't get what that truly means as far as being patient. Okay, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to be quiet and I'm not going to be anxious and I'm just going to, but you are multitasking. You are trying to do a million things at once and you're not really getting the gist of what's going on because we're not being present. And that is so evident in our lives of how we stop for a moment and go, well, when did that happen? Like, oh no, I just told you about it, remember? But you didn't hear that. So absolutely. I mean, trying to dig into love and especially going on an experiment, I believe what you're going to tell me is you thought you were going to find out one thing and you found out something totally different about what love is.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. And you started off by saying,
we're taught about love as we grow up. We're shown love as we're growing up, but what we're shown isn't necessarily love, and what we're taught isn't necessarily love. Right? There are so many things done in the name of love that are not love, or said in the name of love that are not love. So there's a little deprogramming that needs to happen.
Yeah, because I've noticed that love is so conditional. And I've learned, through my journey, what unconditional love looks like. But we have so many standards of love and how it looks and what it feels like and how we receive it. And, well, you don't love me if this doesn't happen. Or, oh, you love me because you did this. And no, that's not significant of what love is.
No, it's not. That's one of the biggest things that I found out. Love is not a transaction. We hear all the time, love is a two-way street. It's not. It's a one-way road. It is one way. You give love, period. If I give you money and you give me a pair of jeans, that's a transaction. If I give you love to get love, that's a transaction. That is not love. You give love, period.
Ooh,
With
I got
no
chill bumps behind that.
right?
Yes. Oh yeah, I got goosebumps on my arms right now. Just love is not a transaction. And I think, we get caught up in that exchange of love.
Yeah, we do. And then like you were saying, we withdraw our love or think that we are okay to withdraw our love because of what somebody does. But I'll tell you, when you are committed to a friend, to somebody in your family, to a spouse, to a partner, and you make that commitment, you're committing to the person, not to the things they do. You fall in love with a person. You want to hang out with a person. And then all of a sudden things happen, like he leaves his underwear on the bathroom floor, and we think, wow, I don't know if I love you anymore.
I hate you for doing that, but no, you look past that. Love looks past that, right? That's patience. Love looks past the underwear. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. That's when love is conditional, and love is not.
Yeah, but that's so funny that you say that. I remember I knew I loved my husband when we were in the car on a road trip, and he started snoring really loud. And I looked over and I go, I love this guy. We hadn't even been dating that long, but I just I love him because that's not even getting on my nerves. I'm like, I can see past. But any other time I would be like, oh, that's a turn off. But I'm like, it's bigger than that. I don't care if you snore. I don't care what you do. But, it's some little small things like that we have to stop and check ourselves about. We've been together 26 years now. I could have thrown that whole relationship away over a snore.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah. And then you just hope that after you say I do, it still doesn't bother you.
Yeah. Because you know what? I've been dealing with it for 26 years. But what I found out is apparently I snore too. He just doesn't say anything. Okay.
Well, my husband snored, and I found out I have very sharp elbows. And so I would just elbow him in the side, tell him to roll over, and then he'd stop snoring for a minute so I could fall back to sleep.
But love will get you through that, right? So yeah.
Right.
But all the things that you had to endure, because not only losing your husband, but having to go through breast cancer yourself. So you're dealing with a double whammy here with yourself. I mean, because you could have lost your own life as well. So I can guarantee that'll make you question a lot of things on, especially if we believe that I'm a good person, I do the right thing, I don't hurt anybody intentionally. Why is this happening to me, right? What were your feelings and thoughts going on?
Well, it's funny that you would say that. Right from the very beginning, when I was diagnosed with people would say, "Oh my gosh, you're a good person. You do a good thing. Why you?" And my answer was always, "Well, why not me? Why would I be immune? I don't believe that God is up there smiting people and saying, 'Oh my gosh, I saw that you stole that pack of gum. In 10 years, you're getting cancer.'" So I don't think God operates that way. And we have cancer in our world. We have disease. We have things. And it's not selective. So it doesn't matter what you believe, where you live, who you are. It can happen to you. So I always thought, well, why not me? It happens to other people. And in a lot of ways, better me than somebody else. Because I know where I'm going. And so it's okay. Which is a funny thing too to me, because that's the prize, right? But yet we don't want people to go. We get upset when people go.
We're not having this conversation because that's the thing that puzzles my mind all the time, is like, why are we so afraid of the prize?
Right.
You're absolutely right. That's the ultimate prize. Not that we are saying, hey, let me do something to get there quicker, but when the time does come, because we all have that time coming, I know that I'm going to the right place because I'm in the right place right now, right? To get there. Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Man.
You know, it was interesting when my husband was diagnosed, just 4 months after I was. We just knew what that diagnosis meant because we'd seen his father go through pancreatic cancer. And we knew that it was not something he survived, that you don't necessarily have a long life with it. And the doctor thought he'd have a year. But who knows? You know, they just make a guess. And from the very moment we left the doctor's office and talked, we said, our prayer was, Lord, either heal him like it did the deaf and the lame, or the ultimate healing of heaven. But please don't let him suffer. Because it's supposed to be the most painful cancer. And I'll tell you what, God answered that prayer in such a beautiful, incredible way. And it was amazing.
That's beautiful, because you weren't asking for God to change your circumstances. And we prayed about this, about how we pray about our circumstances and those things. But instead, you asked God to help you through that circumstance and to make it easier. And, you know, when we think about it, what did Cain do? He said, this is too much for me to bear. Don't let this happen to me. And what did God do? He released him from what could have been greater pain. And he didn't have to suffer like that, right? And so why can't we ask those same things from God to help us to not suffer? We don't ask God for the things that he truly wants to give us, right? He doesn't want us to suffer. Right? He doesn't. He doesn't. Even though we have to go through something, he doesn't want us to go through it in suffering when we can call on him to help us through it. That's beautiful. And that's inspirational, because not only that are you praying for your husband, but you've also got to go through this. And so how are you both being each other's caregivers is what I'm thinking. You know, you're both there for each other, you're partners, but you're both going through something. How are you able to both be there for each other and deal and cope with this at the same time?
Well, I was further along in my diagnosis. So I was farther along toward the end. Like, the end in sight, or hopefully seeing the end in sight is what I had to go through. But I kind of put things on hold when he was diagnosed. Because we had no idea how long we had whatever was going to happen. And we just stayed home mostly together and had the greatest 6 weeks together. It was amazing. It was awesome time. And I would sometimes just start crying. And he would just hold me, which is the right thing to do, right? He would just hold me and he would say, don't cry for me. Don't cry for me. I know where I'm going. Cry for you because you're staying here.
Yeah. Wow. And, you know, just being so selfless as yourself, because you're probably, I'm seeing this, I'm a visual person, so I'm playing this out in my mind, right? How this is looking, but I'm seeing you going, hey, I'm going through this, even though it's a totally different cancer, but I'm going through this and we're seeing a good outcome that I'm almost making it through, that you felt like, hey, I can put mine on hold for a minute and come over here and help and encourage you, because I've been through this. So I know what it looks like, and I can support you in that. That's powerful. And that is so selfless, because you could have been at a point of, you know, wherever your headspace was at and not being able to, but you said, look, my husband, I don't know what this is going to look like, but let me take myself out of it so I can give him my full time and attention. And that's amazing, because that is what love looks like. Giving up yourself for your friend, right? Laying your life down for a friend. Because usually caregivers, it usually ends up that the caregiver goes down before the person they're taking care of. So that could have affected you in that way, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not easy for a lot of people to be the caregiver. But man, I was in love with that guy.
I was in love with that guy.
Such a wonderful man. He was the guy that got up at 5 a.m. and was on his face before God. And he read a devotional every day, read the Bible. He was just this true blue, honest, wonderful man. And he was gorgeous on top of it, which didn't hurt anything, let me tell you. And so it was easy for me to want to be there for him 24/7 because he was for me.
That's beautiful. I can just feel the love. So on this experiment of living it out and doing these words and going through the months and having these epiphanies of, wow, that's what that looks like. How did it change you from inside out?
Oh, it changed me a lot. I mean, hopefully I was a decent person before. But it changed my perspective on so many things. Truly understanding love. One of the things that I was great at is trying to fix people. Because I could look at somebody and go, man, if you just did this, your life would be so much better. It'd be so much easier for you, right? Giving all this unsolicited advice. Well, love doesn't do that. Love allows you to be who you believe you're created to be. At the same time, allows everybody else to live who they are created to be. And it's not up to you. You have no control over anyone but yourself. If you're a mom, you realize, or you've seen in movies, even if you're not a mom, when you bring that baby home from the hospital, you're in total control. You decide when that baby eats, you decide when that baby bathes, you decide when that baby goes in the crib for a nap. But 6, 7, 8 months later, that baby starts crawling around. Your Tupperware is all over the kitchen floor, and your pots and pans are banging everywhere, and you realize that you have lost total control, and you will never get it back again. We control ourselves, period. We don't have a say in how other people live. That's on them. We don't change people. You only change yourself. And you're only in control of yourself. So when you recognize that, like for me, when I recognize that and saw that real love, that's what love does, is let people be who they are, have their own opinions, live the way they want to live, go the way they want to go, and be who they want to be. Then it's this complete wonderful freedom. Because all you have to do is love. All you have to do is love. You don't have to fix anybody. It's not your job. It's not your job. And that's not to say that we can't give advice if somebody asks for advice, or walk uprightly. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, is be an example in the world. Be who you're supposed to be, and be an example to other people. That's what brings people in, right? Giving advice and trying to tell people that they're living wrong or whatever, that just pushes people away. And that is not love.
Absolutely. When I answered my call to preach, my husband and I are in ministry together. My whole thought on this was, I didn't come to preach. The word's already been preached. It says that in the Bible. That's not what I'm here to do. I got to go before people and show them what the word looks like, what the preached word looks like. I can't just go out there and preach the word and then walk away and be like, I gave them the word. There you go. No, I have to walk in that word, and I have to show up, and I have to show what this looks like. And guess what? It's not easy. It's not a walk in the park. It's not something that you even want to take on if you don't have to, right? But it shows you how you're not living for you. You're not here to satisfy your needs. you're here to be an example and share what you have with others so that it can maybe enlighten and change them to help somebody else and to help somebody. I feel like it's a trickle effect. And I think that that's what Jesus came to show us, is to just help somebody, or to be there for somebody, or to just say something kind. But if somebody's already going through something, you're already like, and that's why I brought up when I said you're a good person, and what did you do to deserve this? What makes you think that anybody done anything to deserve anything? Things happen to people, good and bad. It doesn't mean that were created to be destroyed. We weren't. We were created to live eternally, right? And to glorify the Lord. And so when we are learning, even like babies, like you said, this baby now has its own mind of its own. And so instead of getting mad at the baby can't even talk yet, but it knows that it doesn't want what you're trying to do to it. So it's reacting in the best way that it knows how. Now, how do we react? Because truthfully, if we're the adult, we would think that we're the one that's in the control and we can help the baby. But truthfully, what that baby is doing is teaching us that, no, you've got to learn and understand how to meet my needs, right? And we do that with little children. But as people progress and we see adults and maybe people that went through changes in their life or having something going on, we don't necessarily meet them where they are. And just because someone's at a high place or a low place doesn't mean they're always going to be there. And so we can support, we can encourage, we can come alongside, or we can just walk away if we feel like that person's no good for us. That's love as well, I believe, because Jesus even left us, right? Absolutely. Did he not say it's better for me to go because I'm going to send you something better? And so sometimes we have to take ourselves out of a situation, step back for a little bit to be able to really embrace what's going on. And I think you are the true embodiment of these things as far as being able to understand how to recognize what love looks like when you see it. And not just as far as a doing or giving or being thing, but just in the now, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I love the way you put that. That's so sweet. I want to be loved. Everyone. That's what we should all strive to do. And to love everybody. And it's funny. I hear all the time, well, I love everybody. But those darn Democrats, I love everybody. But those Republicans, well, then you don't love everybody. When you put labels on people and take away their names and their own individual identity, and then you assume things about them because of a label that you put on them, that is not love. There are no labels with love. Take them away.
Right. Yeah, there's not. And that's the thing. It's so funny because people will call me Reverend or First Lady or something, and I'll laugh because I won't answer them half the time. I'll just keep on walking, and then I'll go, "Oh, you're talking to me." I don't answer to labels or to, you know what I'm saying? I know who I am or whatever. You say, "Hey, you," I'm not going to take it any different. I know you know who I am, but I'm not going to look at that and go, "Well, they don't love me or respect me because they didn't say this or that." But this is what I believe. People that know you love you. But the only way they can know you is if they love you. Now let's think about that, because
I love that.
If you really know me, you know that you don't have to say those things to me. Whatever you say to me, I'm going to receive it. It's going to be okay. And we're going to be fine. It might even hurt or whatever, but I'm going to absorb it and I'm going to grow and learn from it. Or I might be mad and I'll get over it. But if you know me, then you'll understand how I'm reacting because you love me. So you already know what the outcome is, right? But we don't take the time sometimes with people to be like, well, you're just crazy. I'm going to, we use that word so loosely. You're just crazy. You're acting nuts, or you're doing something I don't like that I don't understand. So I'm going to walk away from you. You know, and it's like, we don't give the time, like I said, to meet the people where they are and to really understand, well, what's the reason behind what's really going on with you? It's not personal.
Right.
Right.
You are so right. You are so right
You are
on.
so right on.
I often think like the Mona Lisa.
The Mona Lisa.
If it went up for auction, can you imagine how many millions and millions of dollars it would go for? Like I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Ton.
It'd be a ton.
Because it's one of a kind.
It's one of a kind.
Just like you are one of a kind. There is nobody that's ever been exactly like you. There will never be anybody exactly like you in the future. You are the only you. And you are the only one that has walked in your shoes. You are the only one. So when we meet people that you kind of look at sideways I don't really understand where they're coming from. Where's that thinking? What has happened? It's good to think, well, I wonder what's happened in their life. I wonder what they've been through. That has brought them to this place, this angry spot, or this place of condemnation, whatever it is. Cut people some slack. Because we don't know what they've been through. And people hopefully allow me to mature as I go along in life and evolve. And hopefully today I'm doing it better than I did 10 years ago and 20 years ago and 30 years ago. But sometimes we don't give each other that great. And we got hurt when we were in second grade. That boy pulled here in second grade. He's out of our lives. We never want to see him again or talk to him again. Second grade. Let it go. Let it go. He's not the same kid. We all need to give each other that grace. That we're changing. We're evolving all the time.
Yeah. I'm probably going to be a shock factor here with this one that I'm about to say, but I'm just going to say it because it really meant something to me when I saw it. So we know Jeffrey Dahmer did some outlandish, nasty, mean, vile things. But let me tell you, I saw him in this interview and it was intriguing to me, this conversation that he was having with the interviewer, because he went through everything that he did and he took accountability for it. Not only did he do that, but then he said, God knows him and he knows he can be forgiven. And I said, you know what? People don't get this, but he's right. And I'm just like, the thing is this, we know that God has changed people from being one way and used them for his good in another way, from evil to good, And I just was thinking, I go, there's people that are like, condemn him, hang him, murder him, and we know what happened. But what I'm saying is, it's not for me to decide his fate. I know what he did is horrifying, is horrible, is the worst thing ever. And I would never wish that on anybody. I would hope nobody would ever do that. But what happened to him to get him to that place is what my thought was. Why was he this way? So then as I'm watching this documentary, I'm like, did anybody ever check these things out and see that sometimes when we do things, it's because nobody goes deeper into us and they ignore it or they overlook it or they say we're misguided or whatever, instead of trying to help in some kind of way, to reach out. You never know. If it was one person that truly was genuine, maybe that could have changed something, but we don't know that, and some people are just off and that's just the way that it is. And I can't figure that out either. It's not for me to decide. But what I'm saying is, anybody that asks for forgiveness, that's between them and God, for God to forgive them. But he gives grace and it's sufficient. So who am I to say, he's going to hell? No, that's not for me to decide, because he may be going up yonder while I'm over here thinking I'm doing the right thing, and I'm not, because his love might be the right type of love and mine might be wrong because I'm judging everything, right?
Right. Wow, I love what you just said. That's pretty powerful. When you think of the thief on the cross, Jesus said, I'll see you. I'll see you pretty soon, buddy. And what a great God that we have that forgives. And how nice is it?
And how nice is it?
I love it that I am not judge and jury. I love it that there's not going to be a line, and I'm going to go, you're in, you're out, you're out. I don't want that. If it was to me, everyone would be in. Like, I don't want anyone to be out. So I am not judge and jury. All I have to do is love. And with love, there is no room for condemnation. There is no room for judgment. There is no room for racism. There is no room for trying to fix people. I mean, there's just no room for that. Love is love. Period. Doesn't mean you got to hang out with everybody. Doesn't mean every personality is going to fit your personality. Doesn't mean you're going to like everybody. But loving everybody is a whole different thing. And you do have to have boundaries. People in your life that are hurting you, they should not be in your life. You know, it's figure out a way to get out of a bad situation. Or if you've got a friend who's just weighing you down, and it's not a healthy friendship, then you're not doing them any favors by staying in the friendship. You're not helping them to grow. You're not helping them in any way. That's not love. Love would probably tell you walk away. And that's okay. I think people get it mixed up. Like, oh my gosh, well, if I walk away, it means I don't love them. No. You can love them. And sometimes it's the love that gets you to walk away.
Yeah. Letting go. Sometimes you have to let go. And we have to decide what's holding us back from being able to give our full self and be at our greatest potential to live out our purpose, right? Because if we don't understand how to give, we don't understand how to receive. And most of the time, we're not able to receive because we don't know how to give, right? We don't know what it looks like. I am grateful that you took the opportunity based off of, I believe when we go through something that is our passion, something that we care about, that we desire, our calling, we're going to commit to it. And we are going to do whatever it takes to get to the bottom of it. That's what you did. You went on a year-long experiment of living this out. And it didn't stop at a year. There's no way it could have stopped at a year because you're here now. And this is something that I think we need to talk about. There's so many different things that we teach at school, but there's so many things that we need to teach that you know, I'm like, why aren't we teaching kindness and compassion and showing what integrity really looks like, you know? Mm-hmm. Instead, we're teaching how to sell things and how to make money and how to exchange and do transactions, right? Right. When the greatest transaction that we could possibly learn would be love. And that's no transaction at all. It's just free to give and free to take, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know, Kim. I don't know. What are we going to do?
You know, I feel like I did everybody's homework for that. Like, people don't have to go live on the streets of Haiti for a year and sleep outside with the tarantulas or whatever is lurking in the bushes in Haiti. Like, you don't have to do that. I went on the journey. And now I just want people to learn what love really is. I want people to be curious. What is it that you don't know about love? What have you been missing? Where have the misunderstandings been? Because we all have them. There's not one of us that just had this rainbows and unicorns. We've all been through stuff. And whether it's trauma or it's divorce in your family that brought trauma, health issues, whatever it is, we all have gotten our own things, right? And sometimes those things drive us away instead of toward. And so then our look at love can be hurt. Because you feel like it's love that hurt you. Love didn't hurt you.
Love didn't hurt you.
Somebody's actions hurt you.
Somebody's actions hurt you.
Somebody's ignorance hurt
Somebody's
you.
ignorance
Somebody's
hurt you.
misunderstanding
Somebody's
of how they should
misunderstanding of how they
be.
should be.
That's what hurt you.
That's what hurt you.
Love didn't hurt you.
Love didn't hurt you.
And so don't withdraw.
So don't withdraw it.
Realize that
Realize
it's to give only.
To give only.
When you do give, love has a special way of giving back. But not with everybody.
Not with everybody.
There are going to be people that are so far away from knowing the truth about love that they don't know that it's something that they just give and give freely and unconditionally. And it can hurt.
It can hurt.
It can hurt, but it's not.
It can hurt, but it's not
that hurts.
love
it's
that
people
hurts. It's
that are
people
hurting.
that are hurting.
That's powerful. Kim, people that are hurting need someone to help. You are someone that can do that. How do people contact you, get your books, work with you, find out more about love through you?
Well, Love Is
the name of
my book.
Is the name of my book.
I usually have one note. Right here.
Right
so this
here.
is what it looks like.
So this is what it looks like.
And this has a lot of information in it, no doubt about it.
No doubt about
but
it.
There are other ways.
ways. And
my name, I am literally the only Kim Sorrelle spelled my way in the entire world because my last name is obnoxious. It has way too many letters. Two R's, two L's, two E's, SORRELLE. So that can be hard to remember. KimSorrelle.com is my website. But you can also get there by putting in loveis.info. And I have on my website a 14-day love challenge. And it's just something different to think about every day for 14 days. And when people sign up for it, it's free, completely free. But when you sign up for it, I will send you a free WWLD wristband. What would love do? Because if you can answer that question, what would love do? You're going to be doing the right thing.
I love it. Kim, thank you so much. You have such a sincere heart, and I'm sure your family is overjoyed to have you at the center of it because you are just a true glimpse of what light looks like. And I want to say that because I'm looking at you and you're just glowing over here. And I mean, there's so many people that I don't want to minimize anybody's pain or anything to that nature, but somebody will stub their toe and think it's the end of the day and go and just want to beat up the world, right? But lady, you have been through the fire and you've come out and are not just coming out and saying, let me go on with my life, but how can I help others go on and understand what I've found out? That's a beautiful thing because sharing is caring. That's love. And I wanted to share with you, I was thinking as you were talking, and you said love never hurt anybody. No, love never hurt anybody, but love was hurt. Love was nailed to a tree for us. Love was pierced in the side for us. Love was put in a grave and buried for us. But in 3 days, that love rose up and set us free. And that's amazing. And all we have to do is be grateful, right? And being grateful means showing other people some grace and giving them a pass sometimes and letting them know it's going to be okay. And I'm here for you. And I'm not going to beat you up because I didn't like what you said. You know, love is giving you a second chance at something that could have been destroyed. And we're looking at love right now because you brought us love today and encouraged us with what 1 Corinthians really looks like. And that was one of my marriage scriptures. I'm so grateful that you used that because I was so truthful when I got married that this is what I believe. And I learned so much more through it. But I'm like, I need to have that in my scriptures for marriage, for when we get married, because I want to live by that. I want to understand what that looks like. And trust me, I've had to learn them all.
And it's not easy.
You know, and then it's like you got to come out of those layers of what you think and be born again into what is true. And it'll definitely set you free. I thank you for sharing your story with us today. What else is it that you would like to share or say, or anything you'd like anybody to know, or anything that maybe we didn't touch on that you were wanting to say that I didn't give you a chance to say? Go for it.
Well, I would just say, as the last thing, is you need to love yourself in order to love other people. And sometimes we fight against that. Especially as women, we can be so critical of ourselves. We don't look like the woman in the Cosmo magazine, or whatever. And we think that there's something wrong with us, or that we should somehow be better. But there's nothing wrong with you. You are you, and the only you. I think, like, if somebody made a pumpkin pie, and it was the best pumpkin pie ever in the world, and you love pumpkin pie, and it was the greatest. Didn't just make the pumpkin pie, but grew the pumpkin. Grew the pumpkins and made the pumpkin pie. And not just that, but made the soil. And made the pumpkin grow. And made the seed in the soil. That made the pumpkin grow and gave you this beautiful, wonderful pumpkin pie. And if you say, no, I don't want it. Well, that's the same as going, God created you. You're a seed. God created you from the very first cell. Created everything about you to be exactly who you are. And look like you look and be you. And in God's eyes, you are perfect. You are exactly who you should be. And we need to try to see others and ourselves through God's eyes. And if you have a hard time loving yourself, if you're just struggling with that, I challenge you to every night before you go to bed, look in the mirror, look right in your eyes, in the mirror, and say, I love you. And that might feel awkward and weird at first to do, but the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. And the more you're going to believe it.
Absolutely. I love it. I love everything that you brought today. And like I said, this goes with our Advent season. That's why I know that God is doing something great, because how everything just flows right together, especially the season that we're in. We're talking about love, and we know that I believe it's the fourth Sunday of Advent ends on love. So I'm glad that I was able to begin this month with what we need anyways, because that's the whole purpose of this season, is God loved the world that he sent his begotten son. Here we are today talking about love. And not only that, but we talked about him too. And we can do that on this show. So thank you for bringing him up. All right. So anybody that has been watching today, listening, want to have a better understanding of what love is and what it looks like. If you've been struggling with loving yourself and seeing the beauty in yourself and in others, why don't you check out Kim Sorrelle? See how she has changed her life and been inspired by love, and how she can help you grow and be inspired by love as well. We will have Kim's information on our website as well. You'll be able to see this podcast on Spotify and Anchor, Apple, wherever you watch your podcast. But right now it is live and streaming on Facebook and YouTube, and you'll watch it over and over again until you get it. And if you don't get it, watch it again, and then share it with somebody, and then teach others what love looks like by you being love. Remember, as always, you were created with a purpose. Go be great and love somebody. I'll see you in a little while. I got another guest coming up, and I look forward to that conversation. Until then, be blessed. Stay with me for just a second while I log us out.